Well, the Hall of Fame game, it was an exciting one. A little bit of wild one on a live call with us. But we're here to talk about some of the things that we seen and talk about our Chicago Bears as the football season has begun. Y'all know we're going to talk about it and break it all down right after this.
Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the post game right here on Chicago Bears Central, the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears. Right now, we looking at the Chicago Bears ending it potentially with the 21-17 lead over the Houston Texans right now. We seen Brett Rypien come in and have a solid performance. We seen a little bit of Tyson Bagent. We didn't get to see much from Austin Reed, but we seen a number of other players up in this. First and foremost, Big Kev, we coming to you first. What are your thoughts on the overall game?
I mean, it's to be expected. It was a sloppy game in a lot of instances because it's the first preseason game. Especially the first quarter, the Chicago Bears pretty much came out and got decimated by the offense of the Houston Texans. They just marched right down the field, put up an early touchdown and a field goal. But in the second and third quarters, the Chicago Bears came back down to earth. We saw Brett come in and take care of business, man. Like he was I think 7 for 9 in the first half with two touchdown passes, two touchdown passes in the second quarter. I like what I saw from the offense in terms of it's vanilla. There's no real game plan, but the right plays were called at the right times on what we talked about in the pregame show on second and short, third and medium. What type of plays are we going to see? We only saw 2 screen plays tonight, and I think as Bears fans, we can all say that was a great thing.
For sure. C-Dub.
Let's start with the defense. I'm like Kev, and I think nephew, he's gonna think the same. That was not pretty for the eye. That was not good for the eyes for the defense. I know that they're not the starters, but they showed no resistance. They was very disappointed in that group that started the game out. And that's all I really got to say. It's really nobody that jumps off the page. Elijah Hicks, he had a couple big plays. Number 22.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but number 22.
Elijah Hicks.
Mm-hmm.
Who is 37? I thought that was Elijah Hicks.
I don't know who 37 was, but nonetheless.
Both of those guys, number 37, number 22, they showed a little bit. Now get to the offense. And of course, the first drive was, and I'm gonna just talk about the quarterbacks because that's really what it boils down to. I think Tyson Bagent has not improved his game. He looks the exact same from last season. He looks the exact same. He's not challenging the ball deep down the field. It's a lot of dink and dunk, and he's not accurate going down the field. So it's just the same. But then when you go and get to Brett Rypien getting in the game, he looks like he's been running this offense for 10 years. I know it's just the preseason, and he's been in this type of offense for a long time, but it is what it is. He looks like 100 times better than TB running this offense. And I just want to give a shout out to Colin Johnson because he did start the game off a little shaky because I did cut his ass mentally after that first play that they did. But he really, really bounced back. And you got to give him kudos for that, for having a bad start like that and coming through at the end and having a big-time game. And there was still a lot of time left. And I still think he was in the game, so he could have even had a bigger game. So the players of the game for me are Brett Rypien and Colin Johnson. They're the only ones that really jumped off the screen.
Well, Khalil Herbert and Roschon looked good, too, though, when they was out there.
Yeah, they was all right. Overall, I think this was just a good start to what we expect the Bears to continue to build on. Me personally, I loved the play call. I know everything when it comes to these play calls is not going to be right. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I don't see many hiccups. And then when it was time to take opportunities to change and put pressure on the defense, I seen the Chicago Bulls kind of do that. But now this is just the Hall of Fame game and preseason game 1 for the Bears, and they got 3 more left. So I'm looking at these guys and see if they can continue to build off this. Use this as something that you can look at to evaluate your talent. And hopefully we get to see more of the first team because that's when you really, really get to make those adjustments. You really, really get to see how you can attack the opposing team's defenses with the talent that you have. And I think that it's going to be very, very exciting moving forward. This was just lit just as a prelude This was the intro.
Yeah.
And I say we got a lot more to go. But y'all named out a couple players, and I agree with both of you all on that. When we talk about, but I want to talk about Velus Jones. Where was he? Y'all, y'all feeling like he should have been out there playing?
Oh, absolutely. When is he made his self a automatic player on this team? When is he locked down a roster spot on this team? When
I
did he
mean,
show you that deserves it?
if you got Khalil Herbert out there playing, then
Yes.
Velus Jones definitely needs to be out there playing. Like Khalil Herbert has shown and proven way more than Velus Jones Jr. So there's no if we didn't see Khalil Herbert, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. So I'm right there with you guys. Not seeing Velus unless it's because he's injured or something. He needs to be out there getting all the reps because he hasn't shown us a damn thing since he's been a Chicago Bear.
What is this coaching staff love affair with Velus Jones? Why does
Third
he?
round pick.
What is the love affair? I don't give a damn.
I don't. I
What
doubt
has
it's the
he
coach.
done?
I
What
don't
has
think
he
it's just the
done?
coaching staff, bro. I think the GM picked him with a
You
third
think
round
Ryan
pick.
Poles is holding on to a guy that really
He
ain't
could be
giving?
potentially holding on, but I think that answer won't come until the end of this preseason
Mm-hmm.
and how I'm looking at it.
I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying this because he's supposed to be playing this preseason game. If
I'm
you
with you.
got Khalil Herbert playing,
I'm
why the
with
hell is he not playing, bro?
That's a fact, and I'm with you on that. I think that when you talk about Velus Jones and all the hiccups that he had last season, and what he needs to continue to improve on and show, just for the sake of competition, uh, he need to be out there. But I will say this: when Dante Pettis dropped that punt,
Mm-hmm.
he was definitely on the sideline or looking somewhere celebrating. What y'all think about that?
Dante
Absolutely.
Pettis. I don't even know how he made it back on his team, but I'm glad that he got exposed to what
Yep.
we already thought. We already knew what he was. He
Because
dropped the easy pass.
you could tell he was like, "Don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it." Damn, I dropped it. So it's like, my nigga, like you can't have that mentality. You got to be a killer out there. This the preseason. Ain't no stakes on the line. Like there's no reason for you to drop a punt when ain't nothing on the line. Like what's wrong
Uh,
with you, bro?
I'm
Besides
a,
your job. Like go ahead.
I'm gonna throw a little sneak compliment right now. The offensive line did pretty well
I
this
would
game.
say that too.
They did pretty
Those
well.
backups, they were all right. Once they got their feet set, I think everybody kind of, at least for the Bears, they started off rough. It was
Mm-hmm.
ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But as the game went on, it seemed like they continuously adjusted a little bit, swapped in the guys that they wanted to swap in, and then you seen the offense start to get in the rhythm. With the addition of Brett Rypien, and then on the defensive side, those guys really started to hone in. They must have got yelled at or something.
And for Rypien, I like the way how decisive he was, especially
Yeah.
that first touchdown that he threw. He didn't wait for the defense to try to recover. He saw the mistake that they made and ripped that thing right in there for the wide open touchdown. The second touchdown was the same way, and the third one as well. Like all three touchdowns were pretty much wide open receivers. He hit the right read and he was decisive with it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with you on that.
And it is the first game to all of Tyson Bagent. If you really like this kid, it is the first game. You don't want to jump and make any hasty decisions, but you gotta say you like what you seen from Brett Rypien, bro.
Oh yeah.
You still give TB12 all the opportunity that he has. I'm just saying that when I look at this game, he looked the same as he looked last year. That's it.
I mean, I would have. You gotta agree with it, because me personally, I'm like, yeah, we know what you were last season, and you showed that you was a competent
You
backup.
competent.
You was 2-2 for in the 4 games that you played last season, and I would say you could have been 3-1. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, you was just let down at 2-2. And me personally, going into this offseason, I expected him to work on arm strength, work
Mhm.
on accuracy as best as
Mhm.
you can, just to see if you can improve. Now, like to see Dub's point, it is still early. There will be more opportunities to come his way, and I'm anxious to see how he gonna be able to bounce back and recover from that, because all the short stuff and dink and dunk is not gonna keep you around very long.
No, no.
Absolutely not. You got to be able to get the hard first downs, and that's right now he's not showing that he can do that.
He just got to attack down the field. I think he don't want to make a mistake. That's what it looked like to me. He don't want to make a mistake. I think it's probably wide receivers open down the field, and he think he hanging on by a thread. Maybe it's a lot of competition in training camp. I haven't been. I don't know. I just read the stories. So maybe he don't want to make a mistake. He don't want to take a chance. But this game is about, bro. You gotta go all out, bro, and let the chips fall where they may, bro.
If
For
it's any
sure.
time to make mistakes, it's in the preseason.
That's
Yeah.
a fact. I want to add this on to the conversation since I see this comment from EV. He said Bagent only had one series though. Can't
Mhm.
tell anything by that. C Dub, what's your response?
I could tell you two ways to think about that. He was so awful that they didn't want to see him again, or they already scheduled him to only play one series because he's very important to the team and they didn't want to risk the injury.
I'll
I
say
believe in the first one.
I think it was a matter of timing. The Texans held the ball for a long time on both of their possessions, and by the time the Bears got the second possession, they were already into the second quarter. So it might be an issue of they wanted him to play the first quarter. So once that quarter ran out without them getting the ball back, that's just what it was. I doubt they were happy with what they saw from him, and they just pulled the plug on him.
Yeah, I think it was more so about operation. I think because like a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, when we watch this, we thinking about is he just passing the ball around? You know what I'm saying? That's one key component. But it also comes down to how are you making sure your guys are lined up? Are you making sure you get out so you have enough time to hike the ball? Are you getting out here and you giving the cadence the correct way to make sure that everybody understand what's play is being called? And at that moment, I will say in that the first drive, that it was a little shaky for Tyson Bagent. It's not the end all be all,
No,
but it's in his first series. If you compare it to Rypien's first series, it's night and day, bro.
night and day.
It was totally different. It was
I,
totally different.
I would even go to this far. Like, I think they scheduled both Tyson Bagent and Rypien to play a quarter each. And
Mm-hmm.
I think in the third, because Brett Rypien played a little bit of the third quarter too.
Yeah, and
They
then
were so
Austin Reed
impressed.
came in.
He wanted to see more of it. So
Mm-hmm.
he put him in again. I don't know for sure. This is just me and I'm just guessing. But uh if anything, why wouldn't you give Tyson Bagent a chance? They only had the ball for like a minute. They went three
Yeah,
and
they ain't
out,
had a
didn't they?
ball.
Then they go
I think he
three
ran
and
like
out.
I think he ran like maybe 7 plays top, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they didn't go three and out. They drove down the field and they had a 4th and 1 opportunity at like the 30 and got that false start, and that stalled the
Yep.
drive.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think they were satisfied with his play. Like, okay, that's enough. You come sit down, put Brett
Right.
in. I think they
For
just
sure.
went on schedule. Let's
For
come on.
sure.
It's your
Now I
turn.
want to talk about Colin Johnson, man, number 80. Colin
Yeah.
Johnson. Now at the start of this whole thing, before we even seen the first game come on, nobody really mentioned his name, including myself. But we have been having discussions about wide receiver number 4 and 5. We look at the top 3. We know there's Rome. We know there's DJ. We know there's Keenan. We know that Tyler Scott been making a little noise as wide receiver number 4. But it was still questions about wide receiver number 5. We talked about Vegas. We talked about Dante Pettis. But after seeing today, I know we have to see more. But C Dub, started with you. What do you think this performance does for Colin Johnson?
It's a good start. I'm gonna just say that it's just a good start. Say we pick him up. You know, he's playing flanker, right? He's playing one of the starting receivers, either left flank, right flank. What position he's gonna play if he makes this team? You can't play him in the
That's the
slot. I
biggest
don't think
question.
he's fast enough to play the slot.
Yeah.
So really, what can he do? What can he? I don't even want to say this because this will sound like I'm being a damper, but how can he help the team? What position? Where would you put him on the team? Where?
I mean, for me,
With a
when I
guy
look,
that's ass.
I mean, for me, what I look at him, and it is just a start. So I'm not gonna overreact to this. And C Dub, that's good that you led the way on that for not overreacting too, because I'm gonna do the same thing. But what I seen is that this is a guy like if you get down in the red zone, you can have him potentially as an option. But obviously, you want to see him in different situations to where like, hey, what if we bring you in a jumbo package and we want to run a play action? We got to catch you out over a cross on a drag or get you on a high slant route, or the high over route or something like that. I think that's what's going to be next to see what the Bears do, because I think how he's going to make this team, because you ain't getting in or getting more targets than Rome, DJ, Keenan, and hell, probably not even over Tyler Scott. You definitely ain't getting none over Cole Kmet or Gerald Everett. So you're gonna have to get yours in bits and pieces. So one thing that I think that he's gonna have to show, and we're gonna find out as these games goes on, is if he can be a blocker. Now you adding on, not only are you a jump ball threat, because that's what we've seen with all these back shoulder throws, but now you're adding another element to where we can use you in jumbo packages to where you can be a blocking wide receiver. And I think that's where you're gonna have to make his money. He's gonna have to be able to offer or bring something else to the table. Big care of what you got.
I mean, obviously this carries little weight, but the intangibles matter.
Yeah.
Like the stats don't tell the whole story, because even the one they didn't call a catch was an immaculate
Yes.
attempt at
Yeah.
trying to get the ball. And we said it during the game that you can't teach 6'6". You just can't do it. The dude, you give him a chance to go get it, and he's trying to go get it. And I like to see that he got some dog in him. As far as where his position would be on the team is concerned, I think the tight end is sold up. I don't think he has a chance there. And I think the wide receiving room is depending on what the Bears really want to do with Velus. Like, let's say he does this for the entire preseason, then there's going to be because now that they don't have to cut players until the last week, right before the season start, they can make this drawn out. But if this dude go out there and make these types of catches and keep running these types of routes, because that was what was really actually pretty cool about him. Not just that he can go get the jump ball, but that he could break on his routes. That touchdown that he caught, he real quick, and he's wide open in the back of the end zone. Shows some speed, quickness, and agility. If he doesn't make the Bears, he could be a practice squatter, depending on what the Bears are trying to do. But if he doesn't make the Bears, he's definitely putting stuff on tape that can allow him to get a foothold in this league somewhere.
Absolutely. That's where I was finna go too. And honestly, can I say this? He's basically auditioning for other teams. Because what are you gonna do? Take Rome, DJ Moore, or Keenan Allen out to give this kid a chance in the red zone? Even that, nephew, you gonna take one of those guys out?
Maybe in the red zone, if you're doing a 4 or 5, you could do a 4 receiver set or even a 5 one and put him at the tight end in the jumbo, like he was talking about earlier. My bad, Bobby, because I know he asked you the question, but his situational football still matters, and he could play a role, because even Mercedes Lewis caught a cut touchdown last season. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say right now it's not gonna be, like I said early on, it's not gonna be him receiving much. But if he can come in and like some rush packages or something and be a blocking wide receiver, that'll be good for him. You know what I'm saying? Because if we look at Equinemius St. Brown, we know he ain't get much tick. But when it was time to run the ball, we need to get that yard. Equinemius St. Brown was in there. We finna run this screen. EQ was in there. So if this guy can add another element like that, he gonna be able to get his opportunity eventually. But it's gonna have to come in bits and pieces. And this, like, as the season progresses on, especially at the second half of the season for the Chicago Bears in their schedule, they're gonna face some divisional rivals, and their divisional rivals are gonna have 10 weeks plus of NFL film to see how the Bears are moving. And at this point, if you Shane Waldron, and I think he's a very smart offensive coordinator, you gonna bring something else to the table and throw a disguise to where the defense, they think they know what you're gonna do, but then you can have a guy, maybe, you know what I'm saying, like a Tyler Scott, who can flash and be that guy that make a big play, or use this young fella in that same type of situation if you want a jump ball scenario or a game-changing play, because those catches, those were game-changing plays. I know it's preseason, so we can't overreact too much, but if you throwing the ball up, if you Caleb Williams, you throwing the ball up, and I'm saying, hey, I'm finna give my guy a chance, you want a big motherfucker that's 6'6" to go up and look down and catch over people.
Absolutely.
A nephew, and okay, I'm put on your GM hat. I'm just gonna ask you, what would it take to sign this kid? What would it take for the rest of the preseason? What would it take for the training camp?
What does he have to do?
What does he have to do? You saying blocking, but I don't think that's good for him personally. I think he's showing signs that he can make an impact with the team. I don't think he can personally make an impact for this team. We're too good at wide receiver. That's what I'm thinking. And I don't think we have a role for him. You say blocking, I just disagree. I don't think you need him for that.
I want to be clear. It's not just limited to blocking, but I think that's how he's going to have to make his way early on. He's going to receive some opportunities to where people need a break, or it's a blowout or something like that. And he's going to have to do more than just catching the ball or jumping over people. Because right today it was a lot of jump ball scenarios, or on a touchdown on one of them, he was just wide the hell open. That's how it was.
On the over route. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So he was just wide the hell open. So it's gonna be some of those to where he gonna have to add on that blocking component. He just got to go out there and be a good teammate. You know what I'm saying? It could, like when it comes down to those later string positions, you got to be a good teammate, and you gotta bring something to where the team can utilize you in certain spaces. And I think that's how you're gonna be able to make his way. He gonna have to be able to block. He gonna have to be able to know his job, do his job to the best of his ability, and then when his number is called, he gonna have to make them catches.
Was he involved with the Bears last season, or was this his first
I
season
think
dealing
he
with the Bears?
was.
I believe I heard his name before.
I think he was.
I
Who?
believe I heard
Colin
his
Johnson?
name.
Yeah, I think he was
Yeah.
here
This
last
is second year.
preseason.
This is like he was here with us last season.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they kind of familiar with him. He familiar with the organization as a whole, and he learning too. So that's what can come out of that. But hey, since you're now joining us, my guy, how you feeling about this game?
It's a weird game to review, right? Because to me, the defense, something that I was excited to see and take a look at, they just didn't look good tonight at all. I can't give the defense a lot, but you could see on the offensive side of the ball, once Brett Rypien came in there and the offense started getting in that rhythm and things like that, you could start seeing how this offense can be really, really dynamic. Really dynamic is what you can see this offense being. And so,
So I give,
Sorry.
I'll give,
Sorry.
Jen
Trying to stop it.
Warrior some credit.
My phone. Sorry.
you're watching yourself? Is that what it is?
No, I was trying to look up something in
Fucking
that video.
narcissist.
That's not me.
Man
That's
is
not me.
watching his own clips.
Fucking
I'm not.
narcissist, bro.
It was
That's crazy.
unintentional. It was the last thing I had up from earlier today. I'm sorry.
But anyway, but no, you can see how this offense, I love the pass and run balance in it. And then when you look at like once they did start zipping around and that pass game start going, you saw how dynamic it could be, like using the running game and how Shane Waldron uses one play to set up another play 2 plays later. And that's something that we didn't see under 2 years of Luke Getsy. And I love seeing that aspect of things because that's that cerebral part of getting into the game. If you saw how Brett Rypien got to work, if you replace that with Caleb Williams and you replace Colin Johnson, either with Rome, Keenan, or DJ Moore, and they get in that type of rhythm, hey, it's gonna be scary hours, bro.
Hey, Drip. I know we was tripping, we was chilling. You know how we are when we get on all together. But really, in a situation with Tyson Bagent, are you ready to just give up on him? It's just the first game.
No,
I
didn't mean it as far as give it up.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I didn't mean like seriously, like you give up on him. I'm just saying that you got to start looking at those trends, right? The offense looked completely different with Brett Rypien.
Absolutely, 100%.
Like completely different. And so I don't know if that was a by design. Maybe they said, hey, Tyson, you're a quarterback too. We want you to go out there. We're going to want you to throw a couple of passes. We're going to sit you. We're going to bring Brett in, and that's where we're going to take a little bit more chances. That could very well be what could be the case here. I'm just going off what we saw. And what we saw is that offense looked completely different with Brett Rypien out there. And they're gonna take more look. Keep in mind, Caleb's only gonna play. I think they said they want him to play between 50 and 55 snaps over this preseason. Yeah. It's not a lot of snaps. So you're gonna see a lot of these other guys. But I'm just saying that if that wasn't by design, if they pull Tyson Bagent earlier than expected, it's gonna give them a lot to think about with how it looked with Brett Rypien out there.
Now, I'm sorry if y'all had something to say, but I just got one more. It doesn't look like Tyson Bagent is improved. Does he look like the same guy?
I won't make that determination off 3 passes. I'm not gonna make that off
one drive.
I did. He don't look he looked the same to me. He just looked the same. But go ahead. I'm sorry, guys.
If he got if Bagent had my bad, go ahead, Bobby.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think that was a crucial thing. You know what I'm saying? And it is too early to say that. But one of the things that we knew he had to work on was the arm strength and accuracy. So we got definitely gonna be watching closely on that because we want to make sure QB1 is good, but we also need QB2 to be ready to go just in case. Yes. This is the NFL. This is football. People might miss a game or two.
We're gonna see next Saturday for sure. But I'm eager to see if he did fix the things that he was lacking in last season. We talked about the accuracy. We talked about the arm strength. He had the opportunity to win more than just the 2 games that he did win. And it just didn't work out because he couldn't fit the ball into tight windows.
For sure. And we talked a lot about offense. it's time to talk about this defense.
Yeah.
They had a bad first quarter. I will give them that. It was a
Bad
bad
first
quarter.
half. They gave up 17
Yeah.
points in the first half.
You could definitely. They started to tighten it up in the second quarter, and unfortunately, the game ended early. But in that third quarter, they looked like they was ready to go more in tune and came out with more energy. Haize, what you thought about the defense today?
I kind of lose like the defense just seemed like the defense never got into the rhythm that the offense did. Maybe towards the end of that second quarter. And who would have said like we finished a quarter and a half early. So who could we say how it would have looked like in the second half of this game? But to me, I have very high standards for the secondary of this team, and they didn't look. I know it was none of the starters. They just didn't look crisp at all. I look at Terrell Smith very highly, right? I consider him very highly. He didn't look too good. Didn't play a lot of snaps out there either. Like overall, this just seemed like a defense that, to me, you could tell it was full of players trying to make the roster or trying to earn their spot. That's what it felt like to me.
Absolutely.
For me, I'm just very disappointed that we didn't get to say Austin Booker's name at all. Now, again, the game wasn't over, but like when he did play, I don't remember him even being out there. I think there was one tackle, and all summer we've been hearing Austin Booker, Austin Booker. Even today, coach said that he wanted to see him touch the quarterback, get to the quarterback. So hopefully all the hype that he heard coming into this, he paying attention to it, and he realizing that it's not going to be easy. Even in the preseason, you got to earn it in this league. So I didn't see much from him. They did start slow, but they were picking it up. You saw them flying to the ball. We saw a couple of big hits too in the backfield. A couple of tackles for loss happened. So it wasn't all bad for the defense. Even in the first quarter, it wasn't all bad. They just couldn't find a true rhythm. You can tell it's a bunch of people that's learning how to play together on top of things because they are a second unit. Some of them were on different teams last year. Some of them were in the league as well. So that first game is always going to be tough. But the defensive unit, they're going to get it together. The second string going to get it together as well. So yeah, let's see what they can do.
Steve-O said that Austin got a sack tonight. But
no, he got a tackle for a loss. He didn't get a sack, at least not on the official stat sheet.
Correction on that one.
What was it? One or two tackles?
Austin Booker had one tackle that was a solo tackle, and it was a tackle for a loss. The sack at least was credited to. There was one sack credited to Khalid Kareem.
Okay, yeah, I like.
Yeah.
He took. Let's go ahead, C-Dub, and then
No. Go ahead. I was just.
I was just gonna say, Khalid Kareem is somebody that the Bears picked up, I believe, late last season, and he was dealing with a little bit. But he looked like he got a little juice in him. But I say he was out of position on certain plays to where some of those early big runs was due to him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was blowing up the offensive line, which is what you like to see. But you got to maintain the discipline at the same time and not give up your edge, because if you, as the edge, you give up the edge to a running back who can cut like Akers was able to cut, he going to rip you up a little bit. And then now linebackers got to make a decision and defensive backers got to make a decision. But the defense overall, in my opinion, it was a bit shaky. And Eberflus, you called a soft game. You called a soft game, probably due to rain a little bit, but it was a little. But it is the first game, so again, we're not gonna overreact on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't overreact in the strategy of the defense or the offense in a preseason game. They're just trying to get some plays off and see where their guys is at on the field. I gotta say the defensive line, they did show some little pressure. You know what I'm saying? Just if you watched them, they did okay. They did okay. It was some slip ups like the one that you talked about earlier when dude he kind of like blew up his own defensive line. Like he went up against his own defensive line and knocked them out the play. Yeah, that was bad. I didn't see a lot of missed tackles. It was just like big holes in people in the Texans was just like running. When they got to him, they did get him on the ground. We did miss some interceptions that went through our hands in the games. But overall, okay, it's nice for a first preseason game or Hall of Fame game. So that's the floor. I don't want to see us worse than this. That's it. It's a floor.
That's a fact. And I like
the way you worded there.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that right now I want to see what the coaching staff gonna do. How you coach these guys up to continuously improve, and how do you take the step forward? Like there are some plays to where I seen Austin Booker get some pressure. He just didn't necessarily get there, and that's a few clips that circulating on social media for those that want to tune in and catch those. But there was a few plays that they gave up. But I gotta see some more improvement too, and it's a process. So we're gonna trust the process to see what we can get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's good. It's not a win or lose anything on this game. It's just the first game.
Yeah,
we
It
did see
wasn't
some
even the
bright
whole
spots.
first game.
We see some bright spots. We see some horrible play though. We see
Yeah.
some horrible play from a couple of players.
I did feel like the second half was trending toward them playing a lot better than they played in
I
the first
agree.
half.
I agree.
And
with
it
that.
stopped their momentum for sure.
Yeah.
I
But
agree.
we got football, y'all, like actual
it.
football that we saw played in front of people.
Get ready to hear a lot about Rypien in the next couple of days. It's gonna be a lot about
a fact.
Rypien. It's coming.
That's a fact. As Big Kev gets a plate delivered. My wife texted me now, bring a snack.
And you should have responded. You should have responded. I'm coming. I'm already.
You hear me?
I'm on my way.
Yes, my
No, that was my boy. He trying to let me see if he ate enough food. You know how the babies be doing. When
You
they don't eat
already
all their
know for
food.
sure. That's good though. Respect. But hey, is there anything else that anybody else got to lay out for the people that's watching right now?
Yeah,
Next
really.
Saturday we got more. We
really
got more
quick.
football, baby.
Oh, the opening act is over. Here comes the main attraction.
Yes, sir.
Caleb Williams plays next week.
That's what you're saying. So they be like, Caleb Williams is not playing in game 2.
Bro, I'm driving to Hallis Hall, bro.
Hey, what was
Like,
that?
hey, don't play with us.
It'll be pitchforks and torches, man.
Yes, don't play with us, bro. Don't.
Hey, Haize,
Don't put nothing past him. All I'll say is, let's not make too big of knee-jerk reactions or think pieces based off this game. This is a really weird game, and they didn't get to play the second half. Had we gotten to play the full game, maybe it would be kind of a spot where you can break things down a little bit more. But overall, I'm glad to see. I love what we saw from the bones of the offense in this game. Can't wait to see what it look like once everybody out there, man.
That's a fact.
I just wanted to say it was a great night to see football and kick it with the gang.
Oh, kick it with it. Always, bro.
Everybody
Not
had a
with
good
the
time.
knee meat on deck. What are we doing?
Knee meat is hilarious.
We always
bro.
starting shit every year. It's some new shit with us.
Bro, this motherfucker up here, bro, smell like knee meat. Like what? What is that?
Every fucking year.
Like what?
But no, man.
This man straight up said knee meat with a straight face too.
Straight
He
face,
said it
bro.
and kept the and then looked at us like, why we crazy for pausing on the knee meat and wondering what the hell was going on.
But that's what this is all about, man. We doing it with the gang, a bunch of guys sitting around watching football and talking crazy, and hopefully it's not going to be 8 wins in 2 years as it was before, man. I think the Bears are trending in the right. They're trending in the right direction, and we're going to be right here every step of the way. So stay tuned.
That kickoff sucks.
We get 8
Ass.
wins in the next 2 years.
You're
fighting.
gonna get used to it, man. You're gonna be all right.
That's crazy.
You're gonna be all right. You're gonna like it by week 1. Watch.
I bet it's ass right now. It's ass.
Right now, they gonna work out the kinks, bro.
Bro, if they hit the
first of all, they
outside-
stole the idea from the USFL anyway.
Bro, they got
outside.
to run up. Look at what they got. This is the rule, and they called 2 penalties on that today. You have a guy that spots the ball for the kicker. He has to run off the field. Don't bullshit. Get off the field, or it's a flag.
Hey,
the
you want to
sideline.
cook before you go, or you ready to go to bed?
Oh, you want me to cook? I mean, listen.
I'm just saying to this
first of all,
clown.
Yeah, the sad part is that this is one of the Ghost of Judas disciples. He
yeah.
comes in here like you're a fan. Like that's just what it is. Like he thinks it's saying the same shit. Nobody ever said that Justin Fields and Caleb were a top 10 duo. He says the same. Come up with a new joke. Like you've been saying the same joke for a year and a half now, and you can you would think that somebody would take a victory lap that that Justin Fields is no longer on the team. You say the same lame ass joke because you're remedial, bro. Your mama and your daddy were brother and sister, and they birthed your dumb ass, bro. Like it's just stupid. Like it's just stupid people, bro. It's just really stupid people. Like if you just want to suck my dick, just say that. It's okay. There's a lot of people that want to suck my dick. You can deal with your homosexual
Why is
feelings
he so
somewhere else. Take that way, my boy.
Why you
But
so
Weird.
that is
It's
not
weird.
okay. It's not okay to want to do that, Redbeard, dog.
Listen, it's just like he's literally my biggest fan. Like, and he thinks he's cooking, and it's just,
Why he sound like a failed pirate though?
bro. All
Redbeard?
it is, bro, is like literally. There have been people who literally have ridden my dick who I'm not on. I don't live in their head as rent free as Redbeards, bro. It's so weird. It's like he gotta be 11 years old. You know what?
Yeah, I think so.
He was that dude that was hanging out with Ghost of Judah that looked like he was hiding under his bed from the Babadook.
Yeah.
Dude, he gotta be him. He gotta be him.
Babadook and Redbeard. That
Yeah,
sound
like
some
it's just
crazy
weird, bro.
adventure.
And they said they need the Petty Roosevelt merchant.
Bro, it's just odd, man. Like we grown ass man here. You repeat the same. Get a new joke, my guy. Get a new joke.
For sure, I'm with it. But y'all want to know what ain't weird and what's live? Chicago Bears Central, the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears. That's it from us, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe and get us to that 16K. We right there. So subscribe before you get up out of there. Make sure you follow the show and everything at Chicago Bears Central Pod. If you want to call in and be a part of the mailbag episodes that kick off tomorrow, 773-242-9336 is the number. Thank y'all so much.